Hi, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Dice Camera Action. Hey! So right off the bat, first, Nate apologizes that he can't be with us tonight. He had something come up, but we will all
He's really busy, guys.
He's really busy. He's got another life outside of us. And
What?
By the way,
People do things other than play D&D?
I know.
Greg spoiled the news about.
He sure did.
I know.
No,
Everyone knows.
But we're not going to say anything here. All I can say is we look forward to having Nate back in our group again soon. Yeah, so let's just kind of jump right into where we left off last time. The Waffle Crew, along with their guide Dragonbait, and a priest of Torm, a half-orc priest of Torm named Umbril Silvertusk, made it finally to Camp Vengeance, which is a fort run by the Order of the Gauntlet, which has come to Chult to basically lay waste to the undead that are becoming a real menace here. But it looks like they got a little menaced by undead themselves. And the fort was quite besieged, and morale seemed to be very, very low. And the commander there, Commander Breakbone, was kind of an ass. But maybe he's just under a lot of pressure. Who knows? But anyway, Paulton tried to set fire to a dwarf captain's beard, but didn't. Evelyn consoled a beleaguered and wounded soldier and sort of helped him with some magical healing. Umbril was off in a hospital tent dealing with a bunch of other sickos. And
Sickos in the sense of being unwell, not in the sense
of... Yeah.
You know.
And so the party hung out there for a while and were drafted, or rather dragooned, into working for Commander Breakbone as a patrol. Because apparently, in addition to the undead threat, Camp Vengeance has been beset by little frog folk known as Grung, an evil menace. And you guys went off into the jungle on patrol with the goal of trying to find where the Grung come from. And at one point, you were jumped by some Grung in trees. And Holly, Strix blew up a bunch of them with a fireball. Jared, Diath ran up a tree and started stabby, killing some of them. And Evelyn was fluttering around with her boots with some mushrooms that she hurled.
That totally helped.
Yes, hurled poison mushrooms, which didn't seem to have any effect whatsoever.
You protected people.
You absolutely did. And Paulton cast a spell, a Crown of Madness spell, that drove one of the Grung mad and sent it off, killing and murdering its companions. At the end of the battle, the Waffle Crew prevailed. There were some minor injuries. Waffles was a little upset because she got hit with a couple poisoned crossbow bolts. And at the very, very end, though, coming out of the bushes, not too far from Waffles and Evelyn, is a baby Grung. Sort of a grayish mauve color, and it just sort of comes out and slow blinks its wide black dome-like eyes at you all, and that's where we ended last week.
I think it was especially looking at Diath.
Yes, yes, it was especially eyeballing Diath.
Like this.
Oh no!
It sort of holds out its big its spindly froggy arms with long webbed fingers and goes,
wait. Okay.
Oh, baby! Diath, it wants you. You're its daddy now.
DF takes out the map where he's been tracking the progress, makes a little mark and says, all right, on to the next waypoint.
Strix is like, no!
Look,
I'm not touching it, for one. I'm not touching it.
None of us are touching it.
No, Evelyn can touch it.
As Diath walks by, he strategically, slams his foot down in a puddle so this water sort of cascades over the frog monster as he walks by.
Evelyn is like,
wow.
Evelyn keeps kind of instinctually reaching for it because it's like a little baby trying to be held. But then she's like, I've heard that certain frogs and reptiles, when you touch them, they have disease on their skin.
That's correct.
I would really like to take care of this poor little baby, but I just am a little worried about touching it?
Paulton walks over
Oh, no.
and just sort of picks it up and licks its head.
Oh no! Oh no! That's not how that works.
It must be safe.
And then he just sort of drops it and kind of goes wandering off.
Evelyn pulls on some gloves and goes after it.
After the
You
grung,
said it wanders off?
Paulton does.
Oh, Paulton wanders off. No, I go after the grung and I kind of like
No, I'm gonna go.
tap it on the head.
Okay. You can see that the grung is sort of wet and slimy, like a lot of tree frogs look. And it just sort of, when you pick it up, it just kind of goes limp and just kind of looks at you, blinks its black dome-like eyes.
I look at Diaz.
Diath is like moved about 20 feet away.
Oh no!
These things live in the jungle. I'm sure they're fine.
We just killed its family.
Can I do a quick, maybe I guess like a nature check to know if Paulton is hallucinating?
Sure.
Okay. 19.
Yeah, you can see after a few seconds after looking at it, he's just like, whoa.
Oh no.
Wait, is that more than normal or?
It's like he's slowly, a new world is unfolding before him.
Oh no. Like he's seeing lots of frogs in the trees.
Yeah. And then he sort of looks over in your direction, Strix, and he just sort of starts like, whoa.
Oh no. I'm gonna walk over and tie a rope to him
Okay.
and just kind of drag him
Smart.
along.
Smart.
And he's like, I didn't know you were one of them.
Yeah, that's ribbit.
Are you sure you want to leave your skin behind?
Just gonna ignore that and just make crazy eyes over at
Okay.
Evelyn Diaz, like, time to go. Pick up the frogs, Evelyn. Take him with us.
Can I find like, I don't know, does anyone around here have like a big piece of cloth or like, are there really big jungle leaves?
I have an executioner's hood, if you would like to use that.
Yeah, you slide him in the hood, and his little feet sort of slip through the eye holes of the hood.
Yes.
So he's wearing like a kind of like a black diaper that you
Yeah.
can just sort of hang him in.
That's perfect. And
So
I
just
just kind
like, don't ask where I got it.
I wear it like a little baby Bjorn
Okay.
on the front.
Okay,
then,
so
like-
it's just hanging in this pouch in front of you with his little feet kicking.
And I'm like, even though, by the way, Evelyn can't get diseases, but she still has a germ thing. So she's just like, she's like, hey, little guy. Like, trying not to touch him, really, but she has it. Yeah.
Evelyn, we don't need that. It'll be fine out in the jungle. Let's put it back. We're not running a friggin' orphanage.
Everyone who has a heart runs an orphanage.
That's
Yeah.
not true. That is absolutely not true.
Do you want this baby to starve out here in the jungle and find its dead parents that we just murdered mercilessly?
I mean,
You
better
want
than,
it to...
better than finding us dead. Look, we have a job to do. Let's see it finish. We can get back to the camp over something else goes wrong.
Look at Waffles. If we hadn't adopted Waffles, where would we be now? What about Simon? Where would we be if we hadn't adopted them?
Don't forget the hand, too. It's
Oh,
probably
yeah, and hand root.
It's probably crawling on me now because it crawled up the rope.
Yeah, I think it's fair. It's now crawling on you. Yeah, that works.
Look,
I hate this thing.
we're taking baby Grung Diath with us, one way or another.
Everyone get back on the trail.
All right. So Diath, where are you aiming to lead the party at this point, or guide them with Dragon Bait's assistance?
I basically kind of did like a waypoint of the directions that they wanted us to kind of follow, and
Yep.
I don't know where exactly we kind of got paused at this ambush.
Pretty much at one of the sort of the farthest points you could go before you would begin to circle back around.
All right, great. Yeah, so I wanted to like start bringing us back. They said was the northeastern area is one they were particularly interested in. Yeah, so I imagine we went like kind of straight east, and we're kind of going to make like a
Oh, sorry, it was northwest, but yes.
or northwest. Okay.
Yeah.
So heading northwest and basically kind of making like a pie slice circle around and back to the point, back to the camp.
All right. At one point,
Can I do any kind of like nature check or something to see if I actually think I'm like taking this grung away from its habitat or actually saving it?
Sure, make a nature check.
I'll use My Little Pony dice that you sent me.
They worked great during the live show.
Hey, maybe
Yeah?
they work good on animal things.
Okay.
No, they don't.
Yeah, you're not sure what the repercussion, the biological repercussions could be of taking this wee little baby grung away from, other than you know that Commander Breakbone thinks or despises grung and thinks they're mortal enemies, but
And might kill it.
possibly if he were given a chance to.
Well, I do think we just killed his family, right? That's where he came from, is like those other
Yeah,
ones.
he literally just sort of wandered out from underneath some ferns amidst at the end of the chaos. It's
How
not.
could those be his parents? They're completely different colors. We probably just stole a baby.
No, he's just lost. We need to find his parents. He's obviously lost.
Do you think
Look
so,
at
Strix?
him.
I'm starting to worry that I might be like, you're not
No,
supposed to
he's
pick up
lost.
a baby bird if it's like falls out of the nest.
Yes, exactly.
Grung, frogman, blink your eyes twice if you're lost.
It blinks its eyes like 4 times in about 10 seconds.
Close enough. He's lost.
Okay, if you think so, Strix, I believe you.
Sure.
We're just putting ourselves in danger by having that thing with us.
Why? Maybe he can help us talk to other grung.
Or poison our food, or just get in the way, or somehow call its others into another ambush upon us. There's no reason for us to take this thing.
Other than goodwill.
It's a dangerous jungle out here. If it would die. If it dies with us, at least we can keep parts of it.
Strix, a mosquito the size of your face sort of flutters around you and goes off, and you're like, see? Yeah.
yeah.
I whispered to
I
Dieth,
like parts of that too.
I whispered to Dieth, I'm like, Strix really wants it. Don't take it away from her. See how happy she is?
That's not what I said.
Paulton's like, you're all frog people, aren't you? How did I not know?
I'm just gonna like take his wineskin out and just like hand it to him. Just like
He just sort of goes, bah, like this, like you're handing him a snake.
No. Oh, well, I'll
something.
take that. I'll take it away from him and just start drinking it.
Okay.
Tell you what, Strix.
Yes.
If you
He's
just want
like, you
parts-
shouldn't
if you
suck
want
other
parts of
creatures'
it, we can
brains
do
out
that
like that.
right now.
No, it's a baby.
I'm not even gonna answer that.
Let's go, Dieth. You wanted to go somewhere. Where'd you want to go?
I hate this.
Paulton's like, why don't we ride on that giant beetle over there?
Is there a giant beetle over there?
No. But there's this kind of slick rock which has some moss on it, which could, I guess, pass for a beetle carapace if you were half blind.
All right,
Oh no.
let's just keep going.
Yeah. Just yank on his rope a little bit. Like, come on.
Yeah, you pull him on
on,
the
Paul.
rope.
Just so you guys know, the moment that thing starts causing any kind of trouble or presents any kind of danger to us, it's
Then
gone.
we will teach it and help it grow.
It's gone.
I'll just throw it through a dimension door into some random area.
I'm okay with that.
It's always an option.
I would cover his ears, except I don't want to touch him.
All right. At one point in your short journey here, the baby grung says something, Evelyn, that he hasn't said before. Before it was just sort of like croaks. But then he says, Yabanug.
Yavanug? What does that mean? He said Yavanug.
What does that mean?
I think it means something in Grung, but none of us speak Grung.
I think it sounds like he's calling for more attackers upon us.
Stop.
Why are you such a pessimist, Dia?
Why do you think everything is cute and innocent?
Because it is.
Where am I left in this? I'm just scared. I'm just scared all the time. Doesn't matter if it's innocent or bad. I'm just scared.
As Dragonbait uses his sword to hack through some underbrush, you see up ahead of you, there is a gorge appearing, and you can hear at the bottom of the gorge the sound of a distant river. But a great tree, maybe about 100 feet, 150 feet long, has fallen across the gorge, and it's now just this sort of hollowed out, moss-covered log almost like a
Cool.
covered bridge.
Yeah. Awesome.
You don't like babies, but you like tree bridges?
And Dieth, as you kind of look at the map that you were given by Captain Salhana, you see that there is kind of like a weird sketch that looked like 2 lines with a 3rd line going across it. Now you realize, oh, that must be this thing.
Oh, yeah. All right. Good.
Yeah. The tree is so big around that the hollow tube inside of it is between 15 and 10 and 15 feet in diameter.
Wow.
So it's like
That's
a
awesome.
hallway. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. You guys ever want to literally walk through nature? Because I sure did.
Over the gorge?
Yeah.
You know how this works. How many gorges did we fall into in Barovia? How many? How many
These are
was it?
different gorges.
No, they're not.
How many have
Just
claimed
gonna
my
lie on
life?
the ground.
None.
Oh, ear.
But you do pose a very reasonable threat. The 2 of you should at least fly out so we don't put too much weight onto this thing, because I do worry about that. I'll go across first with Paulton, and then afterwards, myself, Dragonbait, and Paulton will go, and then afterwards, Waffles, just to try to distribute weight as much as possible, not break through the wood.
I'll just hold up my extra rope and be like, you know what to do.
Yep.
I'd like to have some sort of contingency plan to get Waffles across. Could we cloud Waffles if we had to?
I don't know.
Should we make her small enough to carry?
Oh, we could make
Can't
her
do that.
smaller. No, we could make her smaller to make her lighter.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. I'm just worried because she's put on a little weight, if you know what I mean. She's looking fat and sassy these days, and I kind of pat her on the nose.
She's so fluffy.
Yeah, she's just a big fluffy girl. I scratch her. Me.
What a good fluffy owl bear.
I'm holding a baby grung in a executioner's hood baby Bjorn, and I'm scratching a waffle or an owl bear.
Well, I'm just pretty soon we're gonna have a cutoff on these pets. I'm just saying,
Yeah, that cutoff was 0.
Hey, I think we're gearing
Don't
up
be
for a
a
new
fun
pet
killer.
episode. Okay, we needed to get some new fresh pets for our next pet episode.
All right, I hope that happens. I call the hand.
Okay.
Ugh.
It really only responds to Paulton, otherwise it just kind of does what it wants to do, and currently it's just sort of clinging on to Strix.
I hate that thing.
That's fine.
I will make Waffles smaller and concentrate with my enlarge reduce spell to make her lighter.
All right. Yeah, so
Oh, she's so
half
cute.
the
It's like when she
size?
was a baby.
yeah, she shrinks down to well, let's see. She'll change, I think, 1 size category. So she'll be bigger than she was as a baby, but smaller than she is now.
Yeah, I think she's not huge. No, I don't know what her size.
Her size currently
she's
is
big.
large.
Large. She's large.
Yeah, so her size is halved in all dimensions. So yeah, she goes from being the size of a small adult elephant or a
Really? That
size,
big?
actually the size of a rhinoceros. She goes from the size of a
Okay.
rhinoceros down to about the size of, oh gosh, like a donkey.
Okay.
But yeah, much more manageable.
Yeah.
That's more reasonable.
And you
All
can
right.
you can remove that when you want, right, Strix?
Yeah, but I
And
have
her-
to I have to maintain concentration, and I believe it only lasts a minute. It
So
doesn't last that
don't
long.
talk to her.
Yeah, it lasts concentration up to 1 minute.
Okay, so
It's
time
like
to
time
go.
to get us across.
So I'll just mount my broom and just concentrate on keeping her tiny.
Okay. So the plan is Diath and Dragonbait are blazing the way with Paulton.
Yes.
Okay. You got Paulton by the rope, so.
Yeah.
And the rope is just kind of looped loosely around his neck. And where Paulton goeth, so too does Simon. So the 4 of you go into the hollow tube of the rotted out trunk of this ancient tree. You can see as you step into it, the tree underfoot is kind of spongy and soft, but there's a thickness to it. It doesn't look like it's going to break out from underneath your feet easily.
I am hovering as close to the party as I can with my flying boots.
Inside the...
Outside.
So above the...
Yeah.
Okay. You can't... Once they go into this thing, you might be able to hear them from time to time. They're echoes from within, but you can't see them very clearly at all.
I'm just trying to make my aura be next to them in case, for some reason, they might need to make any kind of saving throw at any point.
Just try to keep pace.
Okay. So you're
Just
fluttering.
making sure the light of Lathander shines brightly on all of them.
Are you? You'd be closer to them, probably fluttering underneath them.
Okay. All right, Chris Perkins.
Just
I'll
saying.
do that.
Just saying. Okay.
Yep, that's what I do.
Yeah, and you can see there are like old, dead branches and things sticking out from the underside of the tree that you kind of have to flutter around periodically. You also see from this vantage point down into the gorge, there's all this mist coming up, and you can see the thin river that winds its way through, and it sort of tumbles down various small waterfalls as it goes.
Is it like a Barovia creepy kind of mist?
No, it's more like a warm, almost welcoming. Well, you don't feel the heat or of anything. It's just kind of opaque. It's hard to see through. Yeah, but you can't. This is
It's
such
just a rainforest mist.
It's a rainforest mist, exactly.
Okay.
And then you said that Waffles is supposed to sort of wait a little bit behind, or is?
Well, the idea was that, but I forgot about Strix's reduce spell. Because I was just more worried about our weight, like
Why
busting
don't you
through.
put Waffles in the middle between you guys so you balance out the weight?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
We'll do. Yeah.
All right. And do you want to be in front, Dieth, or do you want Dragonbait to be in front?
I'll do it.
Okay. Then he'll pull up the rear.
Okay.
So it's Dieth, Paulton, Waffles,
Yeah.
Simon, and Dragonbait. Okay. With Evil on the other side, and Strix, you're brooming it?
I'm brooming it above
Okay.
because I know there's a lot of flying things here, so
Yes.
I'm just keeping a lookout above and trying to keep concentration on
right.
the spell.
Again, you hear Evelyn, the baby grung, say, Yabanog.
Yabanug, yeah. Is that? Let's make a song about Yabanug. Yabanub, yabanub,
No.
yabanub. I'm just singing,
All right.
and we pass without any problems.
Evelyn and Strix, I would like you to make perception checks.
Ooh,
No problems at all.
I'm gonna stop using this die.
Ooh,
This
I
is
got
a horrible,
19.
horrible die. Chris, did you curse these before you sent them to me? Or?
Nope.
I get a 4.
Okay. And sorry, Strix, you rolled a...
19.
Okay. Do, 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 do.
I'm distracted singing a song to Baby Dieth.
No. His name is Yum McNug or whatever.
No, I named him Little Baby Grung Dieth.
No, there's only one DS. I will kick him down this gorge. There could be only one boot.
Strix, as the party gets almost 2/3 of the way across, you, through the mist, see something that looked like a kind of a tumorous growth on the tree itself suddenly sprout tentacles and move.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
And sort of crawl in it. You see it crawl or sort of squeeze through a open bowl in the tree's length, which would put it ahead of the party making their way down the interior of the log.
I'd
But
like
you-
to scream.
Yep. Okay, so you all
That
hear
is a free
Strix
action if I
scream.
remember correctly.
But also, I'm going to scream and immediately dimension door into the log in front of it.
Like on the other side of it?
Ahead of the rest of your party, you mean?
No, like ahead of the rest of the party. Yes.
Okay. So that Strix becomes the first thing that it will meet, potentially.
Yes.
All right. It can be any place you can see, one that you can visualize, or one that you can describe by stating distance and direction, such as. Okay, so yes, you can gauge the distance and direction you need to travel in order to dimension door, and the range is so great that you can appear exactly where you intend to. So after Strix screams, I'd like Diath to make a perception check to see if you can hear it.
Okay.
Because there's the sound. So as you're making your way through this thing, the thing that is loudest to you is the sound of the river, which seems to, just based on the way sound travels, carry through here quite loudly.
Okay, I rolled 14 perception.
Okay, so you don't hear Strix, you don't hear the sound of the river, but you do see a flash of magical light ahead. Which you can intuit to be one of Strix's spells.
Okay. It's one I've seen before for sure.
Yep.
So reaction isn't quite immediate, like swords out kind of danger mode, but more like, oh.
The first thing you see is that little
happening?
flash of magical light, which could be like a doorway forming.
Yeah, like that was done for a reason. So like I'm still, so like our kind of like gentle pace kind of maybe just picks up speed a little bit to kind of get there faster to see what's going on, but still no real sense of urgency quite yet.
Okay, everybody roll initiative.
All right. Hey, 21.
21. Paulton rolled a 13. Evelyn.
You're muted, Anna.
I said I'm throwing this die away and I got a 6.
Okay. How was your initiative?
I also got a 6.
Oh, 6.
So we're even.
Okay. All right. Oh, I forgot to roll for Dragon Bait.
I'm trying these Tomb of Annihilation dice next. If they work better than My Little Pony, then I don't understand the world.
Evelyn, once again, the baby grung says, Yabanog.
What does that mean?
And
so
it means I'm harnessing the power of nature itself to destroy us.
Did I hear Strix scream?
Yes.
Okay. Then I yell, Yabanog! And I'm like trying to figure out what's going on.
All right. And let's see. On this round, since Diath is too far away to see what's ahead, Strix, you see a creature lumbering down toward you. It fills up the entire interior of the tree. It is a elephant-sized, frog-like behemoth with tentacles sprouting out of its sides, lumbering along sort of big, fat, froggy feet. And it doesn't have eyes like a frog does. Sort of sticking up against it, up out of its big, wide maw is an eye stalk with 3 bulbous eyes built into it. And that whole stalk is kind of leaning forward, and all 3 eyes are fixated on you as you, with your dark vision, see it barreling toward you.
Nope.
And
I'm impressed and also terrified.
Yes. It comes at you, and when it's 20 feet away, its tentacles, its 2 big tentacles come forth and attack you. The first one is a 20 to hit.
Oh, that hits.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. You take 22 bludgeoning damage.
Ow! That was my face.
And you are grappled by that tentacle.
All right.
And then its other tentacle will come at you and roll a 17.
Yes, that hits.
Okay. It does 24 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. All right.
How you doing?
I'm still alive.
Okay, so yes.
Just barely.
You are in its
That
tentacled...
kills me.
That's why I went in front of you.
All right.
That's why I did it.
Let's see.
It's dumb, but I did it anyway.
Okay, and once it has you in its tentacles, then let's. Its tongue will lash forth.
What? Come on.
And I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh, yeah, I'm really good at those. Oh, that's not bad. 17.
Okay,
Nice.
that is not enough.
What?
And
This is like, come into this lock and I'll kill you all.
it pulls you within 5 feet of it.
Great.
And then it opens up its big toothy mouth and crits you.
What?
Do not want.
It rolled a natural 20. Oh. And it bites you for.
You know, this is, I say it's the last time that I'm going to be brave and help the party.
It
They're
bites.
just trying to.
It bites you for 21 points of piercing
Doesn't
damage.
matter. I'm dead.
And
It
it
doesn't
swallows
matter.
you.
I'm dead.
What?
I'm dead and inside a frog.
Not again.
All right.
But as I'm getting like mauled by this thing, I'm just like, there's a monster up here. I saw it come in the tube.
You hear, there's a monster! Oh. All
I
right.
don't like this.
Oh.
Then the little grunk says, Yabanog.
Yes, we heard you. Yep, thank you. Yes.
And so, Dia, you hear, there's a monster up. Boom.
Drop it. You're above the gorge.
Diath, you're up.
Okay. Yeah, I heard the monster then halt, and that's enough for me to immediately go straight into a sprint, letting go of the Palton rope.
Okay.
Just sprinting forward as fast as possible, and as I'm doing that, it's like pulling out gutter and just like getting there as fast as I can, cutting action dash, whatever to get up to it.
Okay.
I don't know how far it is, but full sprint,
All right. So it's
like running at a 45-degree angle.
Okay. After about a 60, when you run 60 feet, you see it for the first time, and you can see it's filling up the entire interior. This tentacled giant frog monster. There's an odd sort of bulge in it, and a staff kind of sticking out of one corner of its mouth. And you can see Strix's hand
I'm upset.
on the staff, sticking out of its toothy mouth.
Great. Just in case she hadn't heard, I'll scream for Evelyn.
Okay.
And then engage the frog.
All right.
So I could see what was clearly like a Strix bulge, so I know where not to stab.
Right. Yes.
Okay, good.
This jungle's the worst.
I hate this jungle.
Go ahead and stabby stabby.
All right, I'll do this one.
Oh.
17?
Hit.
Okay.
Probably easy to hit. It takes up the whole thing.
Yeah, just
Alright.
literally point something at the end of the log.
Oops, stab it. Oh, that's pretty good. For 10.
Okay.
Does my ally within 5 feet have to be conscious for a sneak attack?
Yes.
Damn.
Conscious.
Oh, you said 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess it's more like kind of hacking away at the tentacles and trying to
Yep. Okay. But it
find
takes,
an opening to retrieve Strix.
it takes all of that damage.
Yeah.
And next up is Palton, who will sort of saunter up behind Diath. And let me make a saving throw for him. Okay. He'll go, huh. And then he'll pull out his mandolin.
Uh-huh.
And he will start playing it. And he turns invisible.
What?
Sounds about right.
All right. Simon sort of follows up behind him and tries to shoot this big creature with a dart from its mouth. He hits it.
Good boy, Simon.
For a whopping 1 point of damage.
Got him.
And the froghemoth has
Does
to
it
make
go
a
to
saving
sleep?
throw versus poison. Let's see. It makes its save and suffers no other ill effect.
Dang it.
All right, and then it is Dragonbait's turn. And Dragonbait will run over to it next to you, DF, since you guys can fight side by side.
Come on, Dragonbait. I know I've already pulled a lot of other people out of other things before.
He, what does he smell like? Let's see. He smells like violets currently. As, well, he has a choice. He can either hit it with his sword or he can try to pull Strix free. I think he's going to try to pull Strix free.
What a guy.
See, I was fighting off the tentacles so he could get in there.
Yeah. All right, so he has to make a strength check. All right. He grabs Strix by her hand and wrist and puts his reptilian feet up against this thing and tugs and tugs and tugs. And he is unable in this round to pull Strix out of its maw.
Oh, no.
Wait, he just did that. Would that be a saving throw?
That's that's a strength
Check.
athletics check
Okay.
made to break a grapple.
I really wanted it to be a saving throw. But
All
I
right,
understand.
and so we come to Evelyn, who is outside the log and can't really hear what's going on over the sound of the roaring river and the sound of the little grunt going, Yabanonga.
All right, so I hear this commotion inside.
You hear nothing.
log.
You hear nothing inside the log.
Oh, I don't hear anything.
No.
I screamed for her. Did it
You
help?
heard Strix scream, and that was it.
Dang it, because I have such a cool thing that I could do if I knew what was happening, but if I don't know what's happening, I definitely wouldn't do it. Frustrating. Okay, I run, well, not run, I fly to the other end of the log as fast as I can.
Okay. With all of your movement, you can get there.
Okay. I get to that's as far as I can get is the other end of the log.
Yep.
I look down the log.
You see
I
darkness.
presume I only see darkness? And I don't hear anything still?
Now you can sort of hear kind of the weird sounds of the log shifting slightly and creaking and groaning. Like there is something going on in there that's moving the log and causing it to sort of crack and break, and there's something big in there. You don't think
But
your
I
friends
can't-
could. You don't think your friends could make that big a sound.
But I can't see it to attack it or
Correct.
know what's happening. or
Yeah,
anything.
it's just like a black hole. After about 20 feet, you can't really see anything.
Well, but I can't perceive how far away they even are from me.
Correct.
Ugh. I'm just trying to think of something that I can do in the meantime. Well, I'm going to cast.
Do you have is this a bonus action?
No, that was
Okay.
just my movement, though. Oh, I used twice the movement.
Right.
Okay, then never mind. I don't
All
do
right.
anything. I just stand there,
Okay,
helpless.
Strix.
Cool.
Strix, let's see. At the start of your turn, you take acid damage, but you don't have to worry about that because you're already down. But what
Great.
that means is you get 1 death save failure.
Okay.
And now you have to make a death save at the end of your turn because you're at 0.
Of course.
Do not like.
20, do it.
Ah,
Natural 20.
16.
All right, so one success.
Still alive.
Okay,
Still, at this rate, you'll die before you get your last save.
Dia,
Yeah.
it is your turn.
All right.
Get
So,
her out of there!
so seeing that Dragonbait is struggling, like I'll immediately like get up there and grab onto Strix and like hoist or pull with him.
Okay, make a strength athletics check.
Oh yeah, and the chat reminded me just, I don't know, for added chaos, that there's no longer concentration on the spell on waffles. So now it's plus size.
Right.
Why did you remind us,
Yes.
Holly?
No, this is good. We need
Yep.
a big owl bear
Waffles
to fight
gets
this thing.
big real fast.
She can fit though, right? And it's
Yes, she can fit.
That's right!
Okay.
Oh my God.
You pull Strix out of the mouth of this creature and just kind of like with such sudden, surprising force that she kind of goes flying out of the mouth over you and just sort of flops down onto the wet wood at Paulton's feet behind you and Dragonbait.
Yay!
And she just like
Paulton's
falls
wait.
absolute face down, just
Yeah.
covered in goop.
Yeah,
and
covered
some
in-
of it just catches on fire a little.
and actually she's got like acid kind of dissolving a few more holes in her wet mucus covered clothing.
You guys ever hear the stories about that mom whose baby got caught underneath a car and then she was suddenly able to lift the car?
Yeah.
It was like that.
Yes.
It was like,
Yes.
it was like,
That's real
no, my child.
I was just like, for that brief instant, I was stronger than Dragonbait.
Yep.
Does he look impressed? Is Dragonbait like?
Yeah, he's really surprised.
He smells impressed.
Those wiry little arms of Diath's really it's not what he was expecting.
yeah. What does he smell like, Chris?
Right now, he smells like, that would be brimstone.
Oh.
And it's a fleeting thing, and then it switches from brimstone to lemon, and then switches from lemon to ham, as he looks upon the hungry creature with worry. It is Paulton's turn. You can still hear him strumming invisibly on his.
So he's invisible. You
Yeah,
should.
and his lyrics are like,
Now is hardly the time.
"All my froggy friends are gonna die."
This is the worst.
Yeah, and let's see, the creature goes next. And let's see, Diath, Dragonbait. Dragonbait is going to be attacked. Dragonbait is missed with one tentacle and missed with the second tentacle, and then the creature is going to try to bite him and hits Dragonbait with the bite.
I'm sure it's fine.
And Dragonbait is swallowed.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
don't worry. I got another in me. Hold on.
All right.
Can we just stay out of the giant frog thing's mouth for a second, please?
So down Dragonbait goes, except maybe for his feet sticking out. And then it is Simon's turn. Simon hits it with another dart. Does another
boy.
one point of damage. And the
Hey.
creature must make another Constitution save. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's 14. He makes it. Okay. So the creature does not fall unconscious. And it is Dragonbait's turn. Dragonbait takes acid damage as he is dissolved inside this thing.
Did it look like he was actually knocked unconscious and sucked in?
No, he was
So he's still alive in there,
He
kicking.
was swallowed alive and kicking.
All right. So he
and
killed
so-
badass himself out of there.
You can
Yes.
see him kicking now. Actually, he kind of went in with his sword, so he is going to try to carve this thing out from the inside.
Ha
He hits and he hits and okay. You see Dragonbait's sword come out through the creature's
Nice.
side and kind of tear a jagged hole into it. And let's see what happens. Oh, it has to make a saving throw. Oh, it failed. And as he carves a hole in it, the creature actually regurgitates him back out.
ha!
And Dragonbait is basically spit out next to you, Diath, onto the ground.
That's
And,
why you shouldn't eat people with swords.
Yep. And the creature looks quite wounded by that. All this acid and other bile is sort of leaking out through that gash in its side. And Evelyn, what do you do?
I run toward the noise.
All right. as you run in, you see the back end of this mottled creature. There are two tentacles kind of trailing out behind it that it kind of uses to thrust itself along this passageway. But you're really only looking at its big giant rump and backside.
I want to try to get it to chase me instead of my party.
Okay.
And
You also see just above it, almost right above it, there is a hole. The bole of the tree that it flopped down through is kind of above it as well.
I mean, I was going to do something fancy, but I think I'm just going to poke it in the butt.
Oh, okay.
Because I figure if I were getting chopped in the butt, I would probably turn around to see what's chopping me, and that's what I want it to do.
Right.
So
okay.
I'm just going to take Treebane and say, time for a spanking in the light of Lathander. And I'm going to roll a natural 1.
Oh, dear. So, ironically, Treebane gets lodged in the tree on your backswing, and you're like...
Luckily, no one saw that because
Right.
it's just his butt to me, so I'm
Yes.
going to try again.
Okay.
This die better redeem itself. Natural 20!
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
All right, thank you. This dice listens
Yes.
to reason.
Roll,
The guys
roll
were
your...
like, okay, enough jokes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
enough
okay.
You should be able to
Yeah,
hit the broad butt of a creature, yes.
Yeah, and I'm also going to expend 1 spell slot to do Divine Smite on
Okay.
that as well.
Don't forget to
you-
add your extra weapon die damage for the crit.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, how much? An extra
You roll
die,
the
right?
dice twice, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so we get 3 plus 5 is 8 on the crit, and then we get 7 plus 7 is 14, so 22.
Okay. Nice.
And yeah, that's it.
Outstanding.
Oh wait,
yeah.
no, one more. One more is 1, so 23.
Very good. Yeah, you hear, all of you hear this thing let out a horrible, horrible croak that just echoes up and down the tree as it gets wailed from behind.
That's why you shouldn't try to eat my friends.
And the rest of you can hear Evelyn's muffled voice and battle call, even though you can't see her through this creature's bulk. Strix, you've got another death save coming.
That's right. 5. Plus,
Okay.
wait, I have a special divine sorcerer thing where I can roll 2d4 to change my destiny. It's like a special thing. I'm gonna do it. That's plus 4, so that doesn't matter. But
Okay.
it's 6 something, so it's 9. It's still not 5.
Apparently this is your destiny. Okay, so you're at 2 failures and 1 success, lying there.
That just
Okay.
means I'm dead.
What?
Doesn't that just mean I'm dead?
No, you
No,
get
you
one
need,
more.
you need 3
It's
failures.
okay.
3 failures, you
Yeah.
die.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just like the best out of 3.
No.
Well, apparently
No.
I've been
No.
thinking that wrong
But
for a
hopefully-
long time.
Hopefully Paulton remembers that he can heal now.
Or Evelyn's nearby.
But why would he heal this dead frog creature in front of him?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Paul's tripping balls.
All right,
I'm nearby, but I can't get to you because there's
No.
a giant frog butt in the way.
that's exactly right.
And I don't know that she's that near death. Otherwise, there are
Correct.
things I could do.
Yes. Okay, we circle back around to you, DF.
Great. After like pulling Strix out and like he regurgitates dragon bait. Evelyn, I heard Evelyn attack it pretty much.
Yes.
All right.
So you have sneak attack now because you have
yeah.
an ally.
So then I do like a leaping kind of stab at one of its tender bits.
Okay.
Like taking the sword, reversing the hilt, and like doing a leaping like
Ooh.
Blech.
kind of like down stab at it. And like as like the blade enters in, presumably when I hit, I'll even yell, Evelyn, get your Strix!
I hear you.
Ha!
No.
Oh, no. It's a 1. Oh, no. No.
Wait. I'm close to you. Hold on.
What does that mean?
He is over 10 feet away from you.
Dang it. This thing's that big?
Yep. It is that big. It is thwarting you at every turn, it seems.
I
Yeah,
hate
does
trouble.
Waffles get a turn to attack, or is she too far
All right.
away?
So DF,
Yeah.
to make you feel a little bit better, because this is a sneak attack, you have advantage.
17.
Yes, you hit.
That's what.
Okay, good. Oh, God.
God, we're the worst.
Oh, boy.
We're suboptimal.
Oh, boy. I was done at that point. I was like, yep, this is it. That's it. All right, hold on. So this is 1. Okay. All right. That. Plus all these. Still a lot of 1s. 6, 10, 15, 20, 28 total.
Oh, okay, that's good. This creature is almost bloodied.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, so you pull it out. This infuriated creature, now torn between attacking you and Evelyn. Paulton is going
Paulton,
to...
you can heal. Heal the frog. Paulton, heal that frog. You do what I say.
No, he's still do the wrong frog.
He will cast Cure Wounds spell on Strix using the mandolin.
Yay!
All right, so Strix, you get back 22
Oh,
hit
wow.
points.
That's good. Oh, apparently I have another divine thing where I can get more hit points back. And I don't have the book, but I asked in chat. Because I was like, it's my class, but I don't have the book. So
Yeah, yeah. We don't have the books yet.
I wonder who can help us.
So if we could fix that.
Anyway, I don't know what it is, but I'll just save it for later because that's funny.
And Paul can say, the frog guy's alive now.
Thanks. I'll just cough out the whatever is. Thank you.
Don't
Ribbit.
swallow me.
Don't. Oh my god.
All right. The frog monster is going to turn on you, Evelyn. It just basically, it's kind of got a squishy body, so it kind of revolves in place so that its eye stalk and mouth are facing you, Evelyn.
Like spins itself using its
Yes,
tentacles.
exactly. Uses its tentacles to basically writhe its way around and will strike at you with one tentacle, missing with a 12. It will crit you on the second tentacle. So it just comes right down on top of you. Bam!
I'm sure it sounds really strange.
Yes.
Yeah,
And actually, it comes down.
on,
It comes
metal,
down with such force. It sort of shatters through the bottom of. After it hits you, it kind of slams and breaks a hole in the bottom of the tree trunk. And bits of tree fall away underneath your fluttery little feet.
Although this stuff does give Evelyn an idea.
Evelyn, you take 42 points of bludgeoning damage from that tentacle,
Which is like nothing, right?
and then it wraps around you, and you are grappled by it, and then it will proceed to insert you into its mouth, or try.
Look, I mean, yeah, it's nothing to me, but it's the principle of the thing. That's too much.
Yeah. All right, but it only rolled a 15 on its bite attack. Oh, it's got advantage, I forgot, because it's grappling you. Well, no, it still only rolled a 15 on its bite attack, which is not enough to hit you, right, Evelyn?
Right.
15? Great. So you sort of kick and stick your arms out and avoid being shoved into this thing's mouth
No.
as the tentacle is wrapped around your little body. And that's pretty much it for the
How
creature.
much did it do? 42?
42 points.
And we were full health before this?
Unless you lost some hit points in the battle, which I don't believe you did, the grung battle. I don't think you took any damage in the grung fight.
I don't think she
Oh,
did.
no, you did, because you got hit with some arrows, I remember.
I know I have a mark here, but I can't read it.
Oh,
I
well.
can't tell if it's also 42 or if it's 12.
It's 12.
Okay. So I'm down 54.
Okay. Simon will shoot another arrow or another dart. This time he's going to go straight the damage poison one. He does 3 points of damage. Has to make a but it made another con save, so moot. And Dragonbait will get up and proceed to hack at this thing with his sword, swinging twice, hitting twice, and he does another 18 points of damage to it. All right, this thing is now bloodied. And
Yay.
we
riddance.
come to Evelyn's turn.
Well, best finish what I started. I guess I'm just gonna keep hacking at it.
Okay.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right.
All right, I raise Treebane and get a 12
12 does not hit.
and try again. And this time I get a 22.
Hit.
Aha! I'm gonna Divine Smite this sucker again. I'm
Okay.
feeling shiny.
All right.
All right, so
Shiny.
9 plus is 11.
And you're still grappled by this thing as
13.
you're swinging around. Oops. I just threw my pen away.
All right, so I only do 13 to it that time.
Okay. 13. As you are...
Radiant damage.
Yep. As you are swung around, there's a flash of light as you hit from the divine power that you send through this weapon. As you are sort of tumbled upside down by this tentacle and sort of bashed around, the grung pops out of his little executioner's hood sack and goes running off away from the creature down back toward the mouth of the tree tunnel.
Run, baby Diaz! Be safe!
Yes, go away forever.
Yeah. And you're hanging there upside down in the tentacle, just watching upside down as this thing bounds away from you on what looks like the ceiling.
Oh no! I just picture its little squishy feet, just like.
Yep. All right, and off it goes.
It's like Yakadog.
And at that point in time, it is Strix's turn. Strix, you're conscious. You're lying there. You sort of flop over, look around.
Is everything okay? Am I in one piece? Do I have my staff?
Yeah,
All right, great. And the thing's still monstrous and rolling around and
it
trying
is.
to kill everyone.
You're kind of looking at the back side of the creature now. Its tentacles have sort of pushed it around, so it's facing the opposite direction. And you can hear you can hear Evelyn through its bulk.
All right, I'm gonna try and I think I have. I'm trying to figure out what I have left after the Grun fight too.
Yep.
Maybe not fire.
No, I'm not doing fire. No, I look around, it's about to do it. Look at the wood, and I'm like, yeah. Like maybe the stuff on me is flammable too. Like I don't know.
In my head canon, I kept seeing her almost fireball and then be like,
yeah, that's exactly what happened. I think actually what I'm gonna do is I think I do have enough sorcery points to do a polymorph on this guy.
All right.
ooh.
I would like to polymorph this creature into and maybe a tiny axe beak.
Okay.
No, I hate those.
Baby Axbeak, here it comes. All right, you cast the spell. There's a flash of swirls of magical energy around it. It attempts, it's actually got a bonus on its wisdom saves, +5. It attempts to resist the spell, but the magic is too powerful for it, and it suddenly turns before your eyes into a tiny little axbeak bird.
No!
Which was
And
until...
I just like plop onto
And
the
then,
ground.
yes, Evelyn, you sort of just crash into the ground in a sort of half in and half out of the tree. You kind of land in the hole that it made with its tentacle and just sort of brace yourself there.
Cool.
And and this little bird is just hopping around maniacally.
I immediately go to pick up this bird and then throw it out the hole.
All right, just make an attack roll to hit the bird.
I'm
Good.
guessing it can't fly yet. It's a really small baby bird.
Right,
It's
yeah.
just got little like.
Yeah, axbeaks don't fly.
Oh, okay.
Do you want any kind of bonus on that?
You're just essentially grabbing it, so just make a strength athletics check.
Okay, so that's a -1, so 17 total.
Okay, you grab it you hoist it up by the feet and then throw it out the hole.
Yeah, find the hole and just
All right.
down into the river.
None of you see this, but there's this little axbeak, this flightless bird, just sort of flap, 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 down, flap, 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 as it just sort of
Oh, no.
Wile E. Coyote style, just,
Yeah.
Oh
all right.
no. Strix is still just lying in like with her hand
Yes.
outreached on the ground in a puddle, just like covered in ooze, just
Even
not
for the-
moving.
Evelyn, for the first time, can see the whole party in this, like, tableau, and she's just kind of like, Watch out, there's a hole right here.
I imagine seeing the party is like that gif where the guy walks in with the pizza and the whole room's on fire.
And Paulton's there. What happened to all the clowns?
Oh my god.
Oh god, he's gonna be tripping balls this whole episode.
Where'd the clowns go?
All right, I'll get over to Strix, and Dieth will start like helping her to her feet and cleaning some of the goo off.
She'll throw up some goo onto
Yeah.
you.
Evelyn, Evelyn, you can extricate yourself from that wood hole.
Dieth's unfazed by it. Just
Yeah.
There's Strix.
Cleans off her hat.
Yeah.
It's limp now. Well,
I
that
think
was
we
fun.
should try to get out of this log.
Yes.
That's probably a good idea.
Stat check: is everyone okay? Evelyn, Strix, Paulton, Dragonbait,
Yeah.
Waffles.
Simon,
Simon?
Dragonbait smells like tar right now.
All right, I know. We did what we could, dude.
Then he
I
cleans
lost
the
baby
goop.
Dia.
He uses his cloak, the outside of his cloak, to sort of clean off his sword and then tucks it away.
He's a badass.
Quickly, I'm going to try and rip apart a piece of this frog moth. I want a piece of them.
There's a few little pieces and chunks where it was carved out by Dieth and Evelyn, so you can sort of wade through that flesh and try to extract some.
Okay, I just look at Diaz. I'll be right back. Just like.
And there's some frog human bile that you can collect.
Oh, gross! Yeah, that's perfect. That's acid. Yeah, I'll take some of that in a jar and just like put it in my robe.
Nice.
I use it later.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna start walking down the tunnel, covered in acid, leaving a trail.
You emerge from the other side.
Can they walk around the hole? Because Evelyn will just kind of like hover under the hole, like, don't fall.
Yeah. The hole is easily avoided. And you make your way out the other side, back into the jungle on the far side of the gorge.
Oh, good.
And continue on your merry course. And after about an hour of travel, with Dragonbait helping out by hacking away some of the verge, everybody make perception checks.
Six.
23.
Okay.
I got a 1.
Okay. Diath.
Hello.
You notice that the jungle grows quiet, and your hackles go up, and you sense trouble, and you can see shapes appearing around you, familiar to you because you've fought them before. More frog folk are converging on your location in a sort of crescent in front of you, almost like they're trying to surround you.
Yeah.
And you see a few of them kind of leaping across boughs of high branches, trying to get into position. And a few of them have what look like nets between them.
Almost like
Maybe
they
they're
knew we
coming
were
to thank us for bringing little baby Diaz back.
Yabanog! 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 Just start yelling it. Diaz, yell it.
Stop.
Yabanog!
Stop.
too late.
So based on what I can see and looking around, do I see any possibility that we can get around these frogs or avoid them entirely and still make our destination?
No. You'd have to retreat back to. You'd have to go back the way you came.
Okay.
Yabanug.
You're just saying words.
Strix is just gonna, seeing the Grun just drop her staff and just like collapse to the ground.
Okay.
It's just in a pile. Yeah.
She lies there on her side. Hat covering her face.
That's enough for now. Just like, here we go. Maybe if she plays dead, the frogs will think she's dead.
Okay. At that point in time, Paulton just sort of, if he has one, let me check. What does he do? Yeah, he'll pull out some rations and start eating them.
All right.
Feeling a little munchy.
Yeah.
Maybe we can circle back and take a brief rest, and then we can continue forward in a little bit.
They not see us?
I think they know we're coming, but I'd rather not encroach on Grung territory or whatever it is that's going on here, because I can see it. They're looking to harm us.
But they're not harming us. Maybe it's all a misunderstanding.
Yeah, they're not harming us because we haven't stepped forward into their trap yet.
Well, I don't mind resting, but I don't think that they mean us any ill will. I think that we're probably going to all be friends.
I haven't been able to discern what color these frogs are.
Most of them appear to be green.
Yeah, see, that's the same color that attacked us before.
Yeah, but there were other colors too. I'm sorry. There were other colors too from the ground.
I know. There are also orange ones, and the purple one alerted all of them. So cool.
The color of the little babby that we had is the only one we've ever seen that color, right?
Yep.
That's right.
Maybe he was special.
I'm just gonna look at Paulton from the ground and go, Paulton, throw him a snack. Throw him a snack. Do it.
Paulton will take what he's eating and just kind of throw it into a bush up ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
See, we come in peace.
Okay.
It says of snacks.
And then the bush starts to shake a little bit, and Paulton's like, "Fireball! Fireball!"
Oh, okay. What do you need? What? She just like starts like the fire that's like, oh wait, no.
Yeah, as you think about kindling a flame here, your little grungfend comes out of the bush. And he's eating the little thing that Paulton threw in there.
No, see,
the cracker.
it always works. Yubbanug.
I put him back. Yeah, I say yubbanug to him and see what he does.
Yubbanug.
I hold out my hands to him. Does he come to me?
Yes.
I put him in my little
he basically
baby
leaps up into your face, and you just sort of grab him.
I like keep him away from my face, like, ugh.
All right.
Put him in the little pouch.
You see coming out behind him at this point in time is a adult grung with orange skin, bright orange skin, and it's got a short bow in its hand and a little quiver of arrows over its back. And it says, "Yabbanog."
I bow respectfully and say, Yabbanug. And then I motion to the baby grung and I go, Yabbanug?
It blinks its eyes at you.
The one I'm talking to, the adult does?
No, the baby.
What is that? I'm motioning to it to the adult, like.
The adult sort of gestures with its short bow and says, "Emo."
Emo?
Emo.
Ebo.
Emo.
Ebo. I'm looking at Dieth and Strix like.
Then the big one sort of waddles over toward you and points past you the way you came and says, "Yabbanog."
Yes, I agree. We should leave.
Oh, Yabnug. Yabnug.
Yabbanog. Yabbanog.
Strix from the crowd was like, oh, it was trying to warn us. Oh.
I pantomime killing the frog thing. I'm like, Yabnug. And then me. Yabnug.
I'm going to give you advantage on this because that was way too perfect. Make a charisma performance check.
I'm channeling C-3PO giving the story to the Ewoks.
And actually, Paulton will start playing a little tune as you do it. And he'll give you a D8 on your roll for inspiration.
Nice. Okay, it's either 5 or 9, which gives me a, you said charisma performance check?
Yeah.
So 14, and he gives me a what?
D8.
14 plus, oh no! Ah! 14 plus 2, 16. Well,
All right.
I tried real hard.
Actually, it's the inspiration that kind of put you over the top there, and you were able to, with the music, convey, and it's dramatic at all the right times, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
You were able to convey.
Like on the death scene.
Yeah, exactly what happened. And as you do, and you fall over, the grung will come over to you and just sort of help pick you up
I look really offended by that. Like, no one's picking me up. I'm still on the ground.
And then you see he kind of takes you by the hand and leads you off the way
Look,
you're
guys, we made friends.
off toward the north.
Come on.
Oh,
Come on, Waffles.
Do we go?
we don't have a
Paulton's
choice at
like,
this point.
No.
I'm gonna stand up finally and just tug on his rope and be like, "No, we're going."
What is the rope tied to? Is it like around
Around his
waist?
neck. Just loosely around his neck.
That was probably not the best idea when we were worried about falling from a tree.
I'll grab the rope.
Oh.
As we start walking, Dieth will just kind of gently say to Strix, "They're going to throw us in this too."
No, we saved their. I think they're. Yeah, you're right.
All right, you are led way off the beaten track, and you eventually come to what appears to be, in the jungle, this sort of still lake. And there are trees growing all up around it. And from the trees around the lake, you can see lines, almost like ladders, going over to the trees on the island so that the Gripply never have to enter the water. You can also see that there's steam coming up off the water, indicating it's probably heated by some sort of volcanic activity. And on the island, you can make out all around the shores what look like crude mud and thatch huts. And there is evidence here that fire has claimed a number of the huts. Like there's been damage.
Oh.
You can also see that many of the trees overhead show signs of fire damage as well and are sort of burnt and scorched.
Probably don't do any fire around here, Strix.
I'm not.
Okay, good. Just checking.
I think racist guy did this.
That guy sucks.
And you're followed by this wave of Grung adult hunters who sort of back you up. And as they get to the shore, another one of the orange ones plays a horn. And there's another from the island.
Oh.
And then slowly but surely, you see Grung coming across the water on what look like large lily pads that they basically use reeds to row.
So cute. Evelyn's being very courtly with everyone, just like, how do you do, Yabbanug? How do you do? How do you do, Yabbanug? Yabbanug.
Now Strix is like, yeah, I think Yabbanug was the monster. Don't say that.
It's the only word I know. I'm being diplomatic. Yabbanug.
And when these big lily pads come over, you get the sense that the Grung certainly don't weigh much, but you don't think any one lily pad can bear more than one of you. And you look at Waffles, and well, you're not sure any of these lily pads will bear her.
Oh.
Can I point at the fire burnt stuff and look at the orange grug and just kind of ask, break bone?
Blink, 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 blink.
The scary racist doesn't like grung.
Make a charisma performance check.
All right, mine was not as good as Evelyn's. So Strix is like, I'm covered in ooze. You don't need to listen to me. Let's see, 11.
Okay, that's enough to get across the basic sentiment. When you talk to one of these green grungs, he kind of points to Dieth.
Oh.
Human.
Man.
Human man. I was like, point at Paulton, why not?
Paulton's like, dur, dur, dur.
And I'm like, yeah, good point.
Because Paulton's already on a lily pad playing his mandolin and being ferried across the water toward what's probably going to be a cooking pot.
Oh, jeez.
Amazing.
Evelyn asked Strix, you don't have any magical way to talk to these guys, do you?
No,
These
I
aren't-
used to, and then I changed my spells to have more damage so that we'd stop dying.
Well, that was probably well advised, but not very useful here.
You're right, it's not.
And these are not animals, right?
These are
Just
not
to be
animals.
sure.
They are humanoids, albeit
That's what I
small
thought.
ones.
Just had to check.
Dragon bait smells like ham. And you've come to recognize over time, even those of you who can't smell the ham, that he does, with his
Me.
expressions, betray a certain look when he's nervous. And this is one of those occasions when he's feeling kind of nervous, like this is going to be a bad situation.
You know, I
I'm right
can't smell
there
him, but
with
I
you.
think Dragonbait looks kind of nervous.
I'm nervous too.
I point to the little baby grung, and I'm like, Ebo? Like, where should I take him? Where does he go?
None of the adults seem to give you any clue.
Okay, he's our baby now. Let's go get Paulton. He's like floating away. I don't think he should be alone right now.
I look back and like the rope is just, he's not there anymore. And I'm like,
Right. Yeah, you're hanging onto it. The rope is actually around Simon now. It's just. And you hear Paulton off on the water saying, "I think it's wearing off." And come over here, good little guy. And he just licks another toad. And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's better."
He's like, I just need another hit.
Yeah.
Paulton, that's very rude. Don't lick new friends.
Do we go?
Look, I think Waffles has shown that she can swim. She can swim alongside us. I can fly. It's fine.
yeah.
I test the water, even though I can't feel anything and can't
It's like
have any
hot
effect.
bath water.
It's like a nice little relaxing hot tub, right, Waffles? And we scratch her under the beak. You one of those swim, Waffles?
Okay. I'll get on a lily pad.
Okay. You find it's easier if you're like down, like sitting on it, than if you're standing on it.
Yeah.
But yes, once you get on and you get used to the sort of the weird buoyant effect, and you plop down in the middle, they're able to your farrier is able to row you across pretty easily, and you sort
I'm
of follow.
sitting on it, but it's like knees up,
Yeah.
kind of like.
Yeah, yeah.
kind of like, I kind of want to get this like slime off of me, considering it's just making everything sticky. So I might just use my,
Press
I
it
mean,
into
not
the
that I
ring.
mind the dirt, but I'm just going to use my alter self to give myself gills.
Ooh.
Oh.
And I'm going to hand my hat to Dieth and just like swim in the water.
Woo.
Okay, very cool.
It's something I've probably done before in
All right.
yeah, just
So
digging
I'm now
around
like this,
underwater.
holding onto Strix's hatches.
It's like swimming underwater.
It's like hold my purse.
All right.
Yeah.
And so you and Waffles are swimming together. Then.
Yeah.
That makes me feel better.
Okay, as you make your way across the water, Strix, you suddenly fall prey to what you think is a swarm of piranha fish.
What? Hoo-ah!
I was just trying to clean. This is what I get for cleaning myself.
Yes.
Well, it's not a bath, chat. It's
You're
just,
suddenly surrounded, and they start to devour you.
Come on.
Jesus.
You take 22 points of damage.
I hate this place. That's how many hit points I have.
Oh, so Strix starts to swim, and then suddenly she shrieks out, and then kind of goes under, and then there's this frenzy of blood that spills out.
Waffles, get out of the water right now! And I dive in after.
Waffles
after
does a
Strix.
little circle and goes back towards shore.
I like missile dive in for Strix. Actually, I remember, and I hand Ebo to DS.
Okay.
I put him on the lily pad, and then I dive in.
So Evelyn drops Ebo on the lily pad next to so basically in DS lap. So DS, this slick little frog baby lands in your lap, and then Evelyn does a little woo sploosh down into the water. Evelyn, just make a perception check to find Strix quickly.
Oh, I'm getting a different die then.
I was really hoping to just like find some stuff in the water.
And Holly, make a death save while we're waiting.
I just
Natural 20.
All right.
I got a 12.
Okay.
I'll save you, Holly.
Yeah, so you get one success in your death save, then suddenly Evelyn dives in and comes out with Strix, soaking wet and unconscious.
In a light blaze of glory.
Yes.
Ah!
And where do you put her when you have her? On one of the lily pads? You're going to go to one of the shores? What?
I didn't think this through. Can I carry her back to shore?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I carry her back to
Yeah,
Waffles.
you drop her. Waffles by this time has climbed back out of the water. You can see there's actually like a couple little clippers chewing on her butt. And she just sort of shakes
I
and they
flip
go
them off.
flying off.
Yeah.
Because they all went for strips. They all instead of waffles. Because she was smellier.
Right, yes. That's
And I say, Diaz, I don't think Waffles can swim this.
Sure would be funny if I was just like, oops.
No.
I'm like still on the lily pad going away. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do anymore.
Can't you turn around and come back?
I'll ask. Frogman, can we turn around and go back?
Okay, hold on a sec.
I don't.
I lay hands on Strix real quick.
how many hit points are you giving her?
Again.
How many do I have? I think I gave some more.
I'm having a bad day.
I give her 20.
Okay, 20 hit points.
I would like to pull one of those quippers off of my shoulder and just like smash it on the ground and then put it in my robe.
Okay, you have a dead clipper.
Actually, I'll take a bite of it first. Why not?
All right.
I pat her on the head. I'm like, hold on, and I fly back over to Dia.
Okay.
And I'm
Diaz,
like,
have you retained the baby grung up to this point?
Yeah, I've been holding on to it.
Okay. In that case, I would like you to make a saving throw.
Oh no, you didn't let it touch your skin, did you?
You plopped it on my lap.
Constitution saving throw.
I didn't lick it.
No, you didn't.
So.
But you are in contact with it.
Wait, am I close to him when he makes this saving throw?
No. You're still
You
resuscitating.
never let me
Strix.
be close to anyone, Chris.
I rolled 14.
Okay, you're fine. Yeah, you don't actually. You realize that it does have kind of poisonous skin. When you kind of brush like a part of your arm up against its flesh accidentally, you can feel it burn just from the poison. But you realize, oh, this thing is toxic.
Okay. So when Evelyn returns, I was gonna be like, "Take this from me."
Come here, baby. Put it back in there.
I'll give back Strix's hat too.
All right.
Evelyn goes to like put it on her head, and then she's like,
Yeah, the water did not clean her off at all. It just made it so that when like pieces of cloth get like hard.
Strix, when you stand up, Strix, you realize there's still a quipper like wiggling around in your underwear, so you're like shaking and trying to get it out. You pull your underclothes off somehow without taking your robe off and dump them out, and yeah.
She's just like disrobing on the side of the shore, and everyone's like,
All right.
Strix, you can't make Waffles small again, can you?
I can't. Oh wait, hold on.
Not small enough for a lily pad.
No, I don't think small enough for the lily pad.
If you were to shrink it down, it would be small enough, but it would be close call whether she gets to the other shore in time before she suddenly becomes big again. Sploosh.
Yeah. I could. I mean, if I rested, we could polymorph her, but.
I'm already on this ride.
Yeah, Dragonbait hasn't gotten on the lily pad either. He seems reticent.
Dragonbait doesn't want to go over there.
We're splitting the party right now. It's making me very nervous.
Paul's already gone.
Paulton's just gone. We have to go with Paulton. We can't.
Okay, we have to go.
Dragonbait can wait with waffles.
When in Froglandia.
Dragonbait can wait with waffles.
Dragonbait will nod. Put his hand, a comforting hand on the side of the great owlbear beast.
Sorry.
I'll get on my broom and fly towards Diaz.
All right.
I don't like leaving her alone. You take good care of her, Dragonbait.
I'll throw one of the quippers to Waffles, like, stay safe.
Okay, she'll eat that.
Nice.
As usual.
Yep. Okay. And the rest of you make your way across, leaving Waffles and Owlbear, Waffles and Dragonbait on the outside of this grung community. Yeah, you can see evidence once you get close that it looks like flaming arrows were shot across the lake and set a number of the huts on fire and burnt them up. But all the huts are kind of on the shore of the lake, and then as you make your way inward, you can see more big trees and stuff. But as you just get off your lily pad, Diath, and Paulton's already standing on shore, you can see what must be several dozen grung have come out to greet you. And they run the range of colors from red to blue to violet, orange and green, as you've seen before. And then there's one grung who's a little bit bigger than the others, and he's sort of a bright gold yellow color.
Ooh.
Or she, who
None,
knows.
none the color of our little baby.
Correct. But you see other little babies hopping around, and they're just like the same color as little Ebo. So maybe they change color as they mature.
That makes sense.
That's cute.
Does the gold one seem to be like the leader, if he's kind of the big guy?
Yes, you can see that he has, he carries a staff, a stick that's carved, and tied off at the top of it is a live lobster. And it just sort of snaps its claws in the air helplessly.
That's fun.
I look suitably impressed by that. And then I walk forward and kind of like, again, very stately. I say, Yabanug. And I say,
When you say Yabanug, there's some cringing. Some of the other like children and stuff are just like, ooh.
Oh, it's their boogeyman.
and I say,
Aw.
Yabanug. Pa. And then I say,
Yep.
Ebo. And I put Ebo on the ground in front of him and then nod.
Yes, Ebo kind of goes over to him, and then he takes the staff and whacks Ebo on the head with it,
Oh!
and says something as he bangs Ebo on the head, and Ebo's like,
He's right, you know.
and then contrite Ebo sort of goes hopping off, his pride wounded for straying this far from home.
Aw.
Discipline is very good for children.
Yeah, and then another grung steps in and starts to talk to this chieftain in their own language, and you don't understand what he's saying exactly, but you hear the word Yabanug mentioned. You think he's kind of
Whenever I
trying to...
hear Yabanug, I go, Yabanug.
Yeah, and obviously they're recounting what they believe happened based on what Ebo told them after it ran away from you. A red grung comes over to you or comes over to the chieftain, and the chieftain pulls out a gourd and hands it to the red one, and the red one comes over to you and takes its hand in the gourd, and it's got some sort of paint or something in it, and holds up its hand in front of you, Evelyn.
I
think he wants you to give him a high five.
I think he's trying to give
raise
you
my hand like
war
this.
paint.
Does it want my hand?
And then it sort of pulls away from your hand.
No, Evelyn, kneel down. He's trying to give you war paint.
I kneel down.
Yeah, he puts the hand on your face. And you get this big sort of kind of bluish colored hand print on your face.
Evelyn's like, she's trying to be polite because this is obviously like a really nice thing that they're trying to do, but she's like,
Yes. And then the creature goes back into the gourd and walks over to you, DF. Holds up a hand.
Heck. Yeah, I'll go down onto one knee.
Okay. It splashes you with that paint on your face. Strix, how about you?
Oh yeah, I'll do it too. I'll go down. I'll just like fall over.
Okay.
Just
He slaps the paint on you as well. Paul's
I
like,
point
no,
at Paulton.
no way, man. Keep your mind-eating slugs away from me. No, get away. And they start to like try to corner him as this, and suddenly he's running around with this frog creature with paint on its hand chasing after him. And then he starts playing his mandolin, and he takes to the air riding the mandolin and soars away.
Can I attempt a creative endeavor while this is all going on?
Yes.
I want to try to draw Breakbone with my staff in the ground, or a rendition of him.
As you do that, you start to hear some of the ambient conversations among the grung around you, and they all start to make sense to you.
What?
Like suddenly you can understand what they're saying.
Oh no! Now we're tripping just like Polton.
Are all of us or just her?
So all of you who are touched by the paint.
Nice.
Whoa! I stopped drawing, and I'd be like, oh, Yabanug.
Yeah. And the grung chieftain says, "Why are you here?"
I'll let Evelyn take it. Strix is like, it's not.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I am Evelyn Helvig Marthane, Lightforged servant of our holy morning Lord Lathander, and I am so pleased to make your acquaintance. We just knew that we had to get little.
You see platters of candied bugs being brought out to you and held out by purple grung.
I'm gonna tuck into those.
Strix, they're delicious. They're like, oh my god.
Just like going on, yes.
Well, we're here because we wanted to bring little Ebo home, and also we were talking to this horrid man, Breakbone, and he said that you guys have been trying to kill all of the humans down there and possibly eat them, and we were hoping that maybe you'd just stop doing that because he's going to try to kill you if you keep doing that, and we really don't want him to try to kill you, and we don't want to try to kill you.
Us.
What?
They
Pardon?
attacked us. They attacked us.
Oh. I see. That is very rude of them, and we will.
They're trying to exterminate us.
Why do they want to exterminate you?
They all look at each other.
Because he's racist.
That's horrible. And I turn to Dieth and Strix, and I'm like, they've tricked us. This is horrible. We have to protect these poor grung people.
I agree with you and these grung people. But if they're attacking the undead, I have a feeling that they had some reason, maybe, unless maybe he's just racist. But I'd like to think that they have a reason, but I think he's just racist.
I think there's probably just a big misunderstanding.
Make them stop.
Evelyn, ask him about the zombies and skeletons and stuff.
Oh yeah, do that.
I mean, you could ask him things too. I'm not the only.
No, you got the wheel on this one.
Yeah, it's fine.
Jess would like me to ask you about the zombies and skeletons and stuff.
Okay. At this point in time, a bunch of the grung children have bravely come over and are starting to like cling to you and grab at you and sort of jump onto you and off of you, and they're just you're no longer at all sort of intimidating to them. They just sort of think you're a novelty. What the chieftain tells you, what a number of the grung tell you all at once, because they all start to yammer, is that the undead are a terrible threat and zombies attack them all the time, but when the zombies go into the water, the fish creatures eat them.
Yeah,
that's real smart.
Saw that.
So this is a safe place for them, but man have bows like they do, and they strap pitch and fire to their bows and try to light the grungs on fire.
Well, that's terrible. Just unacceptable.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's just been a big misunderstanding. And you know what we should do? We should all get together, have a little summit, just have a little talk. We'll have kind of an all-hands meeting, and it'll be great. We'll solve all these problems.
They tell you that during the last, after the initial human attack to try to wipe them out, some grung followed the humans back to their camp and staged a counterattack. But so many grung were killed that the chieftain is reconsidering maybe not doing that again. But he tells you that they caught a patrol and ate 2 of them, but 2 of them are still alive.
Oh, so you were eating the humans. See, generally that makes humans real upset when you eat them. It's just a thing that they have.
They tell you that they didn't eat the humans until after they were attacked by them.
That's fair.
But now they like the taste of humans. And, there's that.
Yeah, probably don't mention that when we have our peace summit. It's not something that people generally like to hear.
Can we talk to those those two.
Yeah, if you sort of look down, there's like 3 grung children all staring at you with big eyes. And
Aw.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not even looking at them. I'm just like paying attention to the chieftain. I'm not even paying in the mind. Like, I'm not even pretending to care or even give him like a, not even giving him the time of day or not even entertaining. I'm just, so even like the ones hopping off me, I'm just like, yeah, no reaction whatsoever.
I want to do magic tricks for him. I'm gonna
Ooh.
do fancy little prestidigitation tricks.
all right.
Little lights and
Okay.
I want to entertain them.
And as you entertain them with that, there's some clapping and stomping of feet. And then the chieftain, one of the chieftain's attendants, another red grung, comes out. And the chieftain presents a gift to you for dealing with Yabanug. And you see that it is a exquisite carved horn, like it's meant to be blown.
That's fun.
Yes. You can see that it is carved with an image that kind of looks like a kraken with its tentacles wrapped around the horn, and sort of foamy waves at the end.
Do I think it might be magicals or just a?
Yeah, you do.
Oh,
Can I just ask him what it does?
Arcana check? Oh, yeah, I guess I can just ask him. I
Yes.
want to look smart though, so I'm not.
They tell you that when you blow this magic horn, it emits a thunderous blast in a cone that can be heard far away, and anything caught in that cone can take a lot of damage. They used it to sort of blow away, like a leaf blower, to blow away refuse and stuff, but you could knock down a tree with this thing.
So it
Like
would have
Halton.
They give you a horn of blasting?
They give you all a horn of blasting.
What?
Yes. No, not
No, I mean
each,
the
as a
party,
group.
the group
It's ours.
Gets-
It's as a group.
gets
Oh, as a group. Okay.
the horn of
Since I'm
blasting.
standing there, I receive it and I kind of like turn to Dia and I say, I think this should be yours as a reminder that helping others always reaps rewards.
I think it should be his because he's really weak and needs to blow things away from him.
That too.
I think it should be mine because I don't get anything nice.
Yeah, you can see that it's got kind of the strap is missing from it, but it looks like there could be a strap attached from it to make it easier to carry.
Okay.
I
The
bow
grung
deeply
tell
and I
you that they found it in the jungle near the remains of some dead explorers.
I thank them profusely, and I ask the chieftain how we should address him because I realized I haven't introduced. Well, I haven't been introduced.
You can. He says you can just refer to him as Chief.
I'd like to ask the chief. Obviously, they followed the humans back to their camp, so they know where the humans are. Does he know if the humans know where they are?
You mean in the jungle?
Yeah, like does the chief think the humans know where their encampment is?
Yeah.
They do. Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. Damn. All right. Okay.
So the chieftain says, maybe you could tell them to stop.
I want to tell him to stop.
Yeah, I feel like only some of them would listen. So you two have been dealing with this whole zombie threat. Is there any other information you can give us about them? Do you have an idea where they're coming from?
Yeah,
what's causing
they
it, or how
tell
to
you.
defeat them?
They tell you that the waves of them have been coming from the lands farther south, a place called the Aldani Basin.
Ah. Okay.
Yep.
Algani, you said?
Aldani, D-A-N-I.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a place that lots of lakes and swamps and things, but also some very towering plateaus and other features.
Can I ask the chief as well, like if the humans decide like to stop attacking them, maybe they could do an alliance with them and help them defend each other's camps?
You get the impression that Grung don't like that idea.
All right.
They don't want to have anything to do with.
I mean, I agree. The guy's racist.
Yeah.
That's fair. It's fair.
I certainly don't blame them.
we'll just take this message back to them, and we'll tell them that there's no more need, and that you guys are not going to attack them anymore, and that there's a ceasefire, and we have a peace treaty, and everyone's fine, and we're all just working together to kill these undead, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. But you have to not break that promise, okay? I don't like being made a liar.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think our business is done here. We've done great work.
You have to talk to the prisoners.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too. Are we always going to be able to understand you now that you've painted our faces?
Until the paint wears off.
And then we have to get new paint, or we won't be able to understand you. What's the paint called?
I think it's just called blue.
Yeah.
Wow, it translates from common to grung that easily?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's
So-
amazing.
We just need some blue.
Blue.
Blue. Evelyn practices saying it like a frog. Okay, let's go talk to these prisoners. Thank you so much. Thanks for the Horn of Blasting and the blue paint.
They will take you to the prisoners who are hanging from a crude wooden cage from a tree about 30 feet up in the air. And to make it easier on you, the grung will sort of untie the cage and lower it down to the ground. And you can see the figures in there. They look fevered from being trapped up here in the heat. It's really stifling here, and it becomes increasing. You don't feel it, Evelyn, but the rest of you do. The surrounding heated water and stuff basically is like a permanent bath sauna situation. So these humans look like they've been suffering here. They've been stripped of almost all their gear, really, except for just their undergarments. And both of them are men, probably in their mid-20s. Their hair sort of plastered up against their faces, and they look like that they've only been fed bugs.
Hey guys.
Yes, one of them looks at you. You can see one of them is dark-skinned, one of them is light-skinned. They both look at you, and they're surprised to see you at first, and they say, "Did Captain Niles send you to get us out of here?" Sorry, Captain
who?
Breakbone.
All right. Gonna be real? Not exactly.
Oh yeah, he was leaving you for the dead book.
Yeah, he just assumed that you were dead and he wasn't even going to bother. We're here for other reasons.
But don't worry, we made a peace treaty with the grung, and now you guys don't have to fight anymore.
Why don't you tell us exactly what you were doing, why, and what happened?
One of them says, "We didn't want to fight in the first place." So one of them says to you that they were sent on a sortie mission to find, or to basically hunt down and kill grung on sight and bring their corpses back to Camp Vengeance so they could be skinned and strung up outside the fort.
Oh.
That is not cool.
But
Why?
they were overwhelmed because Commander Breakbone, one of them says, is absolutely petrified of these creatures and frogs in general.
So for the record, this whole grung conflict didn't start until Breakbone arrived at the camp.
That's right.
I think that Breakbone deserves to.
This one guy tells you that, and you can see he doesn't seem to be any fan of Commander Breakbone. He tells you that shortly after they arrived, the patrols started to see grung sightings. Like the grungs were paying attention to what the builders were doing of the fort, because the fort seemed awfully close to where they were living. But they weren't a threat, they just seemed to be watching them. But as Breakbone started to get reports of these creatures, his demeanor changed and became more panicky, thinking that they were going to mount some sort of offensive. So this guy who tells you, he remembers once when he remembers coming down here with Breakbone. Breakbone saw a frog in his bedroll one time and freaked out at an ordinary frog.
Strix is like just laughing. Just like
So the thought that there are bipedal frog monsters near him just practically drove him mad with rage.
Oh my god.
Well,
he
wait
is
until he
racist.
sees Yubnug.
Yeah, if he saw
mean-
Yavinog, he'd probably just have a stroke.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think that if someone has, some fear issues such as those, then they probably need to take a break from their position of power until they can resolve those. So I think we go tell Breakbone that he needs to step down for a little while.
The other man says that'll probably never happen.
I say we scare him out. Why don't we collect as many frogs as we can and overrun the camp?
Just regular frogs.
Just regular frogs. And I can make some illusion big frogs. We can get him out of there.
I kind of like this idea.
He'll never come back.
I do feel bad for these prisoners because they were just following orders, and I don't think they meant any harm or have any actual ill will towards the grung, I imagine. Right, guys?
Well, they kind of do now, since they watched the grung basically eat 2 of their friends. But if you're saying, they want to fight to the death against these things, no.
Well, what I'm saying is...
Help us collect frogs.
I
Sure.
can try to see if I can
They
negotiate.
agreed.
Maybe I can try to help negotiate their release and get them back to the camp at least.
Yeah. That sounds like a great idea.
Only if they help us get frogs.
Yeah, but only if you help us get frogs.
If we have to get 1 million frogs to get out of this place, we'll get 1 million frogs, whatever you want.
Perfect.
That river specifically. I would like to return to the chief
Okay.
and say, basically, kind of reiterate that, I can return back to the camp and help make sure that they will not attack you, interfere with you, or cause you any more harm. However, they need a sign of good faith in return so that they know that you won't do the same. And I think a good way of doing that is by allowing us to return with these 2 other humans to show that we at least brought something back in good faith.
But I was going to eat that one.
Oh, why no? He looks real tasty.
But then he looks at
But-
Evelyn. What I kind of remember was what Evelyn said earlier, and it's like, okay.
That's all we ask.
Evelyn's just hovering behind Diaz
You can have them.
like a
Strix already has 5 frogs.
Evelyn's just been hovering behind Diaz like a proud mom, because like Diaz hasn't been participating a whole lot. He's been like kind of down. So she's like really proud that he's engaging in diplomatic negotiations. So she's like just behind him like that.
All right. So then after that, I'll return to the 2 prisoners, and even just right behind me, just
Yeah.
those wing boots. And I'll basically tell them, all right, we can get the 2 of you back to the camp. But as previously stated conditions, you're gonna help us get frogs because you don't like Breakbone. We don't like Breakbone. He should not be in power. We need to get him out of here.
Strix is already like, I have a whole bunch.
Just like a big bag. I'm ready to go.
So she already got you a head start.
They're making all
So-
these croaking noises in her bag.
What we need from you guys is to, 1, cooperate. 2, when we return to the camp, help explain that the grung actually mean no harm, and they didn't. We could talk to them. They didn't mean any harm. They only retaliated because they were attacked first. This is not the threat. The zombies are the threat. And thanks to them, we know where they're coming from, and we can help stop them. So, you're coming with us. If you're bringing back, you're going to go see your family. You're going to be safe. You just have to cooperate and be chill about it.
They both look at each other, then they look at you, and at the same time they say, yes, sir.
And if you do anything that would somehow impede or put more lives in danger, I will kill you.
They nod.
All right. Are your clothes still around, or?
Yeah, the grung will sort of collect the stuff that they took off these guys and pile it out as they sort of unlatch the one wall of the cages, sort of falls apart, and these guys can climb out, stretch their legs and necks, and then start to outfit themselves with their belongings.
I don't want them to have their weapons.
Okay, you can leave the grung will run
Yeah.
off with their weapons.
All right. Yeah, just so that they're not naked and they have like some food or something. And then with that, I have this map and we should be able to get us back to the camp as soon as possible.
All right.
Is everyone in agreement here?
I got more
Good
frogs. This one's a big one.
Yeah,
Oops,
everybody
I
seems to
killed
be in
it.
agreement.
Good.
Where's Paulton?
Well, last you saw him, he took off on his mandolin, so who knows?
Paulton!
He'll find us. He can
Paulton!
fly.
I'm sure he'll be back in a couple days.
He's in a treetop somewhere just going, oh my God.
Oh no.
All right, let's return.
All right. You gather up these prisoners. You head back. You're shuttled across on the lily pads. All the grungs will wave from the shore as you're taken
Aw.
back. Dragonbait and Waffles are still waiting for you when you return.
I'll even tell Dragonbait to give extra attention to the prisoners.
Okay.
As like an extra guard, like don't let them escape or run anywhere or do anything.
The prisoners tell you their names are Lorsa and Wolf.
Hi, Lorsa and Wolf.
And as you head off and you follow the track back to Camp Vengeance using the map that Captain Saldana gave you, you spend the night in the Waffle Hut when Paulton finally deigns to return.
Okay.
Much to Evelyn's relief, because she was very concerned that he was going to get lost.
All right. And as you sit there and Strix dumps out her big bag of frogs, you can see that she's collected about, I don't know, 50 of them at least. So Strix,
Surprisingly adept at this.
Strix, I'm going to say you collected about 50 of these. Oh my God. 50.
How? Literally how?
Wow. Wow. That's special effects, folks.
I know, wow.
You're muted,
She's always
Holly.
prepared.
You're muted.
I was too excited. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was like, I got one. It's really big.
That's awesome. Yeah, so you start to dump frogs out, Strix, and you got about 50 of them. And it's around that
Sweet.
time that you realize that most of them are grung young.
Whoops.
And that's where we'll stop for tonight.
I just like take it and I'm like,
Yeah, you've got an army of grung babies.
No!
No, it's perfect. We got the paint. We could talk to him and just be like, attack.
yeah, we have the paint. That's true. That is perfect.
All right. So our next session will be at PAX Unplugged, Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which
Now
I
have to
guess
bring the
is
frog too.
yeah.
I was just thinking all of us are going to have to put blue, like, paint.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yes, you are!
Edith immediately washed it off.
You can't hear them. You have to have it.
That conversation's over.
All right. Well, bring your blue paint, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. Other things happening at PAX Unplugged. There's an Acquisitions Inc. live game. There's a Bin Wins Minions live game they're participating in. But another announcement, another activity happening this weekend on November 18th is the Force Grey season finale. Matthew Mercer running an all-star cast through Tomb of Annihilation. Will they survive the tomb? We will find out. But the players include Deborah Ann Wall, Joe Manganiello, Utkarsh, and let's see, who else is in that group? Dylan Sprouse is in that group, and special guest appearance by Marisha Ray. She's playing a turtle.
Aw.
Yep. So tune in for that. That's on November, get your tickets. The event is being held in Brooklyn on November 18th. Get your tickets for the event. Attend. You will not be disappointed.
Yep. Again, our game is Friday at 8:30 p.m.
Eastern time.
Yeah. and
Live
make
and
sure to
in
go to subreddit.
cosplay.
Yes, and it will be broadcast on the Twitch PAX channel, and we'll capture it. I'm going to bring they're going to capture it on their end. I'm bringing a hard drive with me to capture it on my end so that we can post it as soon as
I'm
humanly
going to personally
possible.
find the broadcast engineer and tell them not to run the recording and the stream through an encoder.
We learning. All right.
Yeah.
As always, it's the Dice Camera Action subreddit. Go to the subreddit and engage in all the different really cool fan theories, fan art stories, just different episode discussion and the like. There's also the Dice Camera Actions Discord server where you can chat with other people about the show in real time, which has now been going for a year.
It's been a year?
I guess so.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Holy cannoli.
So be sure to go to that. if you want to join in, because we read all those things too.
Yes, we do.
Yay. It's
And
true.
people in the subreddit and the Discord know everything about this game. Like, I had a question about one of our characters that I couldn't remember. I went into Discord and was like, "Hey, historians," and they instantly a whole slew of information. So,
Nice.
also, we're gonna be us three. Chris, are you gonna be at PAX Unplugged the whole time, or are you going to the Force Gray thing?
I'm not going to the Force Gray thing. I'm going to be in Philadelphia the whole weekend until I fly out
Cool.
Sunday.
Okay, so all of us are going to be at PAX Unplugged the whole time. So please come say hi to us. Hopefully we'll have some time to figure out for like a meetup and things. So stay in touch with us on Twitter, especially because that seems to be where we put a lot of the info. Also, I'm going to be on a panel on Saturday at 10:30 a.m. in Dragon Theater with Holly
Yay.
and a couple other people about streaming tabletop RPGs with an audience. And then also I'll be in the Dragon Theater again at 3 p.m. on Sunday for the GM Improv Showdown, which I guess is a game where we improv stuff, which sounds fun.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, so please do hang out. I'm so stoked for PAX Unplugged. I haven't been this stoked for a con in a long time. It's like my vacation fun con. So I hope I'll see all of you
Yeah,
there.
I'm hoping like I can get a game in. Maybe like I can DM a game or something, like a short
Ooh,
one-off or
that'd be
something.
fun.
Maybe we
We just
can
want
play
to play the
something.
whole time.
Yeah, we can
That's-
play something.
That's what we should do with our live streaming. We should just live stream Holly DMing us an
Yeah.
I'm bringing
I have-
Magic the Gathering decks.
Nice.
Very good.
Sweet. Yay.
All right. Then that's a wrap for tonight. And so after PAX Unplugged, next week we've got a regular game as well, assuming we all survive without plague. And
Oh, yeah.
it's all going to be fun. Lots of D&D as November trucks on.
Yeah, and speaking of more D&D, I do have my Misclicks game next, in which my husband is joining us and already has started with the juvenile references. So,
Oh dear.
so join or don't. I understand either way.
All right. Well, good luck and have fun with that. And I'll see you guys all soon. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.